I've just made that all crumble. It will be a very crumbly cake, but it is delicious, I promise you. Oh, the beetroot makes it taste really sweet with the orange as well. That's really nice. That's really yummy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Gugu's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name is Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make a yummy beetroot and orange chocolate brownie. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make a delicious beetroot and orange brownie. Now this recipe is really easy to prepare and cook, and it's also really tasty. It makes a really nice snack, or it makes a really great after dinner treat as well. I think we're going to have some of this for after dinner this evening, and the first thing I did to start this recipe was to preheat my oven to 200 degrees. Now my oven is slightly broken, so I have heated it slightly at a higher temperature, but in the original recipe I think I said to heat it at 180 degrees, and then what I did was I pre-lined a baking tray, so that's all ready to go when the cake is done. So I just cut 2 pieces of parchment paper or baking paper to the size of the tin, and then I oiled the base of the tin, and I put one in, I oiled that, and then I put another one in, and I oiled all of it then. And I'm just going to set that to one side now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deal with my dry ingredients first. So I'm actually using gluten-free oats for this recipe. I did have a slight gluten intolerance, which I don't think I have anymore, but I still like to use gluten-free oats for this recipe. So I'm just going to pour these into my blender like so. If you haven't got gluten-free oats, that's fine, you don't have to use them at all. But oats do make a really nice cake, I have to say. They make it quite thick and stodgy, that's why I like to use them. And then I've got about 50 grams of raw cacao powder. If you can't get raw cacao powder, then you could always use cocoa powder. Please use the unsweetened type though. The sweetened type has a lot of chemical nasties. It's not as good for you as raw cacao powder. That's why I like to use raw cacao powder. And then I also have some rice flour here as well. But if you can't get rice flour, then you can always use plain flour. And I'm just going to tip those ingredients in as well, like so. And then what I've got here is baking powder. So I'm going to use about a teaspoon of baking powder, and that's going to help the cake to rise, or the brownie to rise slightly. And then I'm going to use about a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon, just to give it a bit of extra sweetness without adding too much sugar, basically. If you can't get ground sweet cinnamon, then you could always use vanilla, but I would use vanilla essence in the wet ingredients rather than the dry ones, to be honest. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend these ingredients together, but I am going to go and get a spatula to help me stir it at the top. So I've grabbed my spatula, and what I'm going to do while this is blending, I'm going to move the ingredients at the top as well, and I find this really helps to make a flour. So I'll show you now. So I'm just going to turn it on, and I'm just going to move. To combine my wet ingredients. So the first thing I have is about 150 grams of butter. This is unsalted butter, and I also have about 150 grams of coconut sugar. But if you don't have coconut sugar, then you can use brown sugar, or you can use ordinary sugar if you want to. The reason I'm using coconut sugar is because it slides through the liver slightly easier. It's not so refined sugar kind of gets stuck in the liver, whereas coconut sugar will slide through a lot easier, so that's why I like to use it when I'm baking. So I'm going to add that in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar together. As you can see, I've creamed the butter and the sugar together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some eggs, and I'm going to whisk this together now. I'm just going to whisk these ingredients. The eggs have been whisked into the butter and the cream. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the juice of 1 whole orange. So you can add the zest as well if you want to, but I can never be bothered to zest an orange. I'm sorry to say that. I am quite a lazy cook sometimes. I don't really like zesting oranges, so I don't do it, but I will add the orange juice in, obviously, just to make it taste orangey. And of course, if you want to add the zest in and you enjoy that job, then please do it. Don't listen to me. And then I'm going to add in the beetroot as well. So I've peeled and grated 1 whole beetroot. This was quite a large beetroot. So if you can't get a large one, then 2 or 3 small ones is absolutely perfect as well for this recipe. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat all of these ingredients into everything else. I'm now going to fold in the wet ingredients to the dry ones. So I'm just going to fold all of the wet ingredients in until this forms a cake mixture. Now I'm thinking I might need a bit of extra milk to make this look a bit more like a cake mixture, because at the moment it's starting to look a bit more like biscuits. So I might have to go and get a bit of milk for this as well. But I'll see, I might be alright. I'm just going to continue mixing this, and if I need any milk I will get back to you. I'm okay, I haven't needed any milk. It does look like quite a stodgy cake mixture though, but I don't mind stodgy. If you prefer it a little bit lighter, then please add a little bit of milk. I'd say add a little bit at a time to see how it goes. The original recipe, I think I used large eggs, but I didn't have any large eggs today. So I used 2 medium, so maybe that's it as well. Maybe that's why it's a bit stodgier than normal. Porridge oats does make the cake feel quite stodgy though, I have to say. It's not the same as flour. Maybe I will experiment with a wholemeal flour brownie instead one day. But for now I'm making this, and I can smell the beetroot and the chocolate together, and I have to say they smell really nice. I've forgotten how nice beetroot makes chocolate smell. I love beetroot and chocolate together. They are a brilliant combination, I have to say. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth out this cake into the bottom of this tray on the baking paper, and then I'll put it in the oven. So I'm just going to continue to smooth out this cake now. I've smoothed out this cake, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, or until it goes a nice golden brown colour on top. And then I will remove it and leave it to cool. So the cake has cooked. It is looking a lovely golden brown colour, I have to say. So I'm just going to check that it is cooked. So what I like to do is I like to put a skewer in, and if the skewer comes out clean, then it's cooked. So I'm going to take this out of the oven now, and I'm going to leave it to cool. I've removed the cake from the baking tray, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto a chopping board, and I'm going to cut this up, and then I will try a little piece. We're meant to be having this as a dessert this evening, but I can't wait. It smells too good. Oh yeah, it's definitely cooked. I'll show you the inside in a moment. So what I like to do is just cut it into quarters and then eighths, and then you can also cut it lengthways again if you want to and make it into 16ths. But I actually like eighths because I feel like you get a bigger piece that way. And I'll just show you the inside. So that's the inside of the chocolate brownie, and it smells so nice. I will try it in a moment. I'm just going to go and get a plate. So I have grabbed myself a plate, and I'm just going to try it a little bit. I have to say it does smell really nice. It smells delicious. Well, I've just made that all crumble. It will be a very crumbly cake, but it is delicious, I promise you. All the beetroot makes it taste really sweet with the orange as well. That's really nice. That's really yummy. Also, I wanted to say that this goes really well with some coconut cream and a little bit of maple syrup mixed in as well. That's really yummy too. Or you can have it with yogurt or custard or ice cream if you want to as well. The decision is yours. That's how you make my delicious beetroot and orange chocolate brownie, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this as a bit of a dessert this evening with some coconut cream and maple syrup. So I'm really looking forward to it. It smelled and tasted so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.